All right, welcome to week 3. We are moving on to Microsoft Excel today, and I want to go through everything. I hope everybody did all right in weeks 1 and 2. Um, Nobody's overwhelmed so far, but we're going to move on to Microsoft Excel. And I've gone ahead and opened it up here, and we're going to go just kind of look through a few things. First, let's go ahead. We'll look at the backstage view. Same as in Word, we click on File, goes to our backstage view. A lot of the stuff very much the same. If we go down here to New, you'll see that there's some different templates here that we can use that we didn't have available to us in Word. Some that we did have available to us in Word. We'll come down here to Print. This is something I do want to stress here. You'll see right here in the print settings, if you click the drop down arrow, there are 3 different ones that you can choose. You can choose print the active sheet, you can choose to print the entire workbook, or you can print only the selection, which is what you have highlighted. These 2 right here, the active sheet and the entire workbook, are the 2 you'll probably use the most, but I want to go over them a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our spreadsheet, and here we are. And you'll notice down at the bottom here, you'll see sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. And this is what we were talking about. Sheet 1 is the active sheet. So if I were to say print the active sheet, it would only print sheet 1. If I wanted to print this whole workbook, I could, and that's what this is called, a workbook. I could choose print the workbook, and then it would print sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. Okay. If I want to add a new sheet, I can easily just click right here, and that'll add a 4th sheet for me. Okay. If we want to rename these sheets, all we need to do, double click on them, and I can rename it to whatever I want. Okay. So pretty simple stuff so far. I do want you to recognize that we have A, B, C, D, the whole alphabet right here. These are our columns. They will always be listed with letters, and they will always come first when you're referring to a cell. Over here, your rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. These go horizontally, like this. They're a row, and they will always come after the column. So as you notice, I'm highlighted right here on cell A1. This, when you're highlighted on a cell, it's also called your active cell. What goes into the cell is data. So anything that I type in here, so I can just type text, that goes into the cell. That data goes into the cell. But the cell itself, this is a cell, the active cell, or also could be called A1. Now, we can also select a range of cells. Okay? And that is shown here. Now, the way to notate a range, which I'm going to type in right here, is to put in the beginning cell. So that would be A1, that's where we started, and the last cell of the range. So we go all the way across our columns to E and down to 6. So we would put E6. And you'll see this more in the formulas, but that is the correct way to notate a range. So if you see this in the homeworks or on the quiz or anywhere, that's describing a range. So you're going to want to, anytime you see that, you want to highlight from A1 to E6. Okay? As we look here in the ribbon, you're going to see a lot of stuff that you have seen before, and then some things that are, unique to Excel. You obviously have your clipboard stuff with your format painter and just pasting and whatnot. All your font stuff's there. All your alignment stuff is there as well. One button that you don't normally see is this one, the Merge and Center button. What this allows you to do is if I put in a title and I want it to go and span 5 columns, let's say. All right. I can now merge and center these cells so that they become one cell. And you'll see when I click that button, oh, click the one too many times. When I click that button, it is now one giant cell with the title centered in the middle going across these 5 columns. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to undo that. Also over here you have your number formatting here. So let's go ahead and we'll go back into A1 here and we will put in a number here. Let's just put in 200. Okay? Now 200, I can come over here and it's just set on general. I can use my quick links and I can make it a currency. If I do that, you see it puts the $sign in there and puts the 0.00 for a currency. You can also make it a percentage. Okay, now it still had that extra 2 zeros on there, so we'll want to take those off so that it's just 200%. We don't want 20,000%. And we can also make it a comma style number. And you'll see that it puts a 2.00 because 200% would be 2.00 in number language. We can also add decimal places and subtract decimal places from right here. So if we would just want one decimal place, we can do that. We also have conditional formatting, which I don't think we'll get a lot into in this class. But what this allows you to do is set up certain statements so that if a cell, let's say, equals greater than 10, it highlights in a certain color so that you know that that cell is greater than 10. You can format your table here. Choose all kinds of little different designs and stuff. You could choose different cells, whether you want them to be headings or have certain accents and stuff like that. We can insert and delete cells and rows and columns from right here. So you can say insert cell, insert sheet row, sheet column, insert a whole sheet. Same thing with delete, lets you do all the same ones. And then we can also format. Here in format there's two that are most commonly used are the auto row height, auto fit row height, and the auto fit column width. So let's say here I have a bunch of text that goes beyond the cell, and when I go and click over here, now it's running over. So I want to make this cell bigger so that it fits my whole data. I can come over here and I can say auto fit the column width, and it will make that column the whole width of whatever data is in there. So if that data is the whole page long, it will make that one column the whole page long. Okay. Some other things real quick here. There's the auto sum right here. We'll go into that more when we start talking about formulas. This allows you to clear contents out. We also have the fill right here. So if you see patterns and stuff, it can fill the patterns in for you. We also have the sort and filter. So if I want to come in here and let's say I have some names, we'll go with Jim, Chris, Tom, and Adam. And I would like these names to be alphabetical. I can come over to my sort and filter and I can tell them to do A to Z. And there you go, it puts Adam at the top, Tom at the bottom. You can also reverse that and go Z to A. So pretty simple. You will have to do this in the assignment, so make sure you are familiar with sorting and formatting there. Another thing that we need to go over real quick is just some of the other ribbon options. If we go into insert, you can see we can insert tables just like before. One of the benefits of this, if you insert a table, you see I already have that selected, so I'll go ahead and hit OK, is it puts a title column in there for you and allows you to do the sorting from right there, and you can deselect certain things. And it also gives you, when you do that, it gives you your own table tab there. If we come back in here, we can insert pictures, clip arts, just like before. If you have a list of numbers in here, you can create charts. You can do different types of charts. There's a lot of different types in here, win losses and whatnot. Hyperlinks, text box, there's header and footers for your spreadsheets, a lot of different things in here. And when we go into page layout, here's where you can choose your themes. So it's important to know, okay, this wasn't in the same place in Word, but it's still available to me, okay? Your themes are still there and available to you. You just have to go under a different tab this time. Your page breaks are still in here, your margins and your orientations. And you'll see right here you have another tab called formulas. And I'm going to get into this a lot more, but what formulas are little equations that help you add numbers or get text very quickly. You can look up different things. There's a lot of neat things that you can do with formulas, and I'm going to go over some of the very basic ones that you guys need to know, but feel free to play around with some of this stuff because there are a lot of good formulas in here that can help you out. And of course there's the data tab where we can input data from other places, but we're really not going to get into any of this stuff with this class. But when you go into the actual Excel class, you'll be getting into more and more of this. You have the review tab just like in Word where you can add comments, and of course the view tab where you can change the sizes, change how you can freeze certain panes and stuff, but really we're not going to get into a whole lot of that. So the last thing I want to show you is a neat little trick here. This is called the autofill handle. Okay, so I'm going to tell you there are going to be times where I'm going to ask you to just use the autofill handle. So if I go ahead and I type in, let's say 100, okay, and I click off of it and I go back up here, I can now come over here until I see the black plus. That's how you know you're on the autofill handle. And I can click it and I can drag down and you'll see that it just keeps putting 100 there. Okay? So pretty simple. Now let's go ahead and let's undo this. And let's say we put 101 right here. Alright? Now if I highlight both of these and I get my little autofill handle, sorry, and you'll see that you can do this by just dragging down, and I come over and grab it, you'll see that my next one will be 102. So it automatically sees the pattern that you have going on here. Okay? Same thing with words. Words do the same thing. Say I do a Monday, right? Come up here, drag it down. There you go. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Does all that for you. Another neat little trick you can do, you see how it runs over? If I don't want to go all the way back, I look for my little double arrows with a line through it. Just double click real quick, and it automatically auto fits to that for me, okay? So those are some neat little shortcuts for you so that you don't have to sit there and type in each number every time. So I might tell you, use the autofill handle to save some time because that will absolutely save you time. And especially with formulas, when we get into that, you're going to want to make sure that you pull the formula. You don't want to have to type the formula over and over again. So this will really help, okay? So best of luck. The next one, I'm really going to get into formulas. So be sure to save some time to go over it a couple times actually, because you want to make sure that you understand what you're doing when it comes to formulas. So see you all next time.